Hey, Kwe, Namalita, and this is my channel, The Midnight Librarian, and today I'll be doing my February TBR. I already kind of know what I want to read for February, approximately, so you'd think I wouldn't need a TBR game for that if I know what I want to read, but I still like the structure. So we're going to go ahead and pick one of my Pokemon booster packs. If you haven't watched this before, I pick my TBR based off Pokemon cards. Each Pokemon card has a type, has a prompt attached to it, and I pick my books based off those prompts. I have various booster packs. They're all mixed up. We have Obsidian Flame this month. I have a whole playlist. Go ahead and check it out. Get rid of this one. And yeah, we'll just go ahead and dive in. Try to keep the challenges in mind. 24 of 2024. Wow. Indigenous read, book of the month, buzzword, etc. Okay. Let's go ahead with the first. Okay. This is an energy card. An energy card is to find a book with the same color on the cover. So a green cover, which throws out my whole thing. Okay, let me look for that. Okay, so for the Leaf energy card, I'm going to go ahead and choose the United States of Cryptids. It's not exactly, it's like kind of matchy with the darker green along the borders, but this is a nonfiction that I had seen up in Oregon when we last went in February of last year. Enjoyed the cover, didn't get it, and then ordered it later on in the year. We are going back up to Oregon here in February again, and I thought it'd be really fun to pick up a book that I saw when going up to Oregon last year, and particularly we are really excited for this vacation. We didn't think it was going to happen. Like, we hoped that it would happen. We've been planning it since November. Throughout January, stuff kept happening and we kept wondering if we would actually get to go. We're pretty sure, knock on wood, that we get to go. We're really excited about it. We ultimately love going up to Oregon, but ultimately we also are ready for vacations as well as just traveling. Like, staycationing is really fun and I enjoy it, but this time we're biting at the bit to be able to travel. So this fits really well in terms of, it's a tour of American Myths and Monsters by J.W. Ocker. Meet the monsters in our midst, from Bigfoot to Mothman and beyond. Welcome to the United States of Cryptids, where mysterious monsters lurk in the dark forests, deep lakes, and sticky swamps of all 50 states. From the infamous Jersey Devil to the obscure Snallygaster, travel writer and chronicler of strange, J.W. Ocker uncovers the bizarre stories of these creatures and investigates the ways in which communities embrace and celebrate their local cryptid. I think it'll be really fun. I actually do enjoy the idea of Valentine's Day, but it'll make it a little creepy. I think there's this website that keeps like popping up that has like these hearts with Mothman in it that I enjoy. I don't know, it's just, I like the more gothy, weird Valentine's, though Brad and I don't typically celebrate Valentine's Day because our anniversary is on a couple days afterwards, so we just tend to celebrate that. So yeah, but I think this will be really fun for this month. So next. What is that? Oh, that's Charizard EX. Holy cow. Okay, so this is a special card. If you can't tell, it's an EX. So it's fully holographic. It's full art, and from what I can see, rather than a fire, which Charizard typically is, it's a dark. So for this, I think I have designated for this is that I get to buy a book. I get to buy a new book. I'm trying to think if I have any anticipated ones in February that aren't coming out at the end of the month. I do have a 24 of 2024 pick, but it doesn't come out until like February 27th, so I didn't plan on putting it on this TBR. Though this could just be my excuse to buy books up in Oregon too. I mean, I just filmed my most anticipated for February too, but I still need to, I left some bits out, so I need to film those and then edit it all together. Okay, I think I may just hold off on this right now because I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with it yet, but ultimately this is essentially like my excuse to buy a new book, which so far I've been doing really good in 2024. I know it's only been a month, but y'all, I had like a dream of buying books I've been holding off. So this, I'll have to look more into this, but you'll know what I choose for it by the end of February. Next. What is going on? Yo, what? So this is essentially the same thing as Charizard EX, but it's obviously like different. So I think, so dark is horror. So in my mind, I would need to like get to anticipated like horror, but I mean horror hasn't really come out yet. There's like been a couple of them, but like not ones that I'm like. So I think because it's like full blown holographic, both of these are, and EX and special ones or whatever. That's just my excuse to buy a new book in general. Okay, here's like a sneak peek of a couple that I will be talking about in my February most anticipated, but ones that I'm interested in. You know what? Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna buy it from Oregon no matter what. It's a vacation. I'm doing that. So these are going to be my go ahead and pre-order type deal for 2 books that I am anticipating. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do for that, and I'm not holding myself to go ahead and do like just strictly dark or horror books, though these have darker tones. So the first one is The Fox Wife by Yang-Shi Chu. I have read Yang-Shi Chu before. This will be my 3rd book by her. This one is historical fiction and fantasy, where basically in 1908 in Manchuria, a woman has died and is found frozen in the snow. Her death is clouded by rumors or foxes involved. Foxes are known to, or believed to be, to lure people by transforming themselves into attractive men or women. And we are following Bao, who is a detective and a reputation for sniffing out the truth, and has had a fascination with the myth of the fox since he was a kid, but they've been very elusive until now, probably. So this one I'm pretty excited for. I think it's got a really unique premise. It has a beautiful cover, and I've really enjoyed Yang-Shi Chu's work before. I really enjoyed The Ghost Bride. The Night of the Tiger, not so much, but it still entertained me. So that one I think I'm gonna go ahead and pre-order. I think I'll go ahead and do The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden. This one we are following, this is another historical fiction. I have not read a Catherine Arden before, but this one's really intriguing, and both covers are gorgeous, although I'm leaning more towards, I actually don't know which one. I like both covers, so we'll see which one I end up getting, whether it's the US edition or the UK. But this one comes out February 13th, and Yang-Shi Chu's I think also came out February 13th. Yes, they both come out February 13th. But The Warm Hands of Ghosts, we are following Lauren Ivan. She's a revered field nurse, but ends up getting injured and discharged back to Canada. But her brother is still fighting in the war, but then he goes missing. He's pronounced dead, so Lauren ends up getting his stuff and a letter telling her that he's gone. She doesn't think that's the truth. Everything that leads up to his disappearance doesn't make sense, so she goes back to, where is it? Belgium, as a volunteer in a private hospital to find out where her brother went. There's like a strange hotelier that gives the soldiers a gift of oblivion, and the trenches are known to be haunted, or certain trenches are known to be haunted. So I think both of these books have darker elements to them, which I think works for these, and I think those are my choices for these 2 holographic Charizards. So yeah. What a weird pull. I'm not complaining though. Okay, so for this we have a bounce suite and it's a reverse holo. So that is to read a backlist book with botanical elements on the cover. And I think for bounce suite, I'm actually going to go with Sweet Hand, the first book in the Island Bites series by Angie Peltier. So I actually got this, I don't know how I got this. Did I get this through Libro? I think it was like on sale through Libro or something, because it's on my Libro account. I hadn't heard anything about it, but then I recently saw Kayla from Booksandlala's video of her reading the favorite books of booktubers, and this book wasn't necessarily in it, but she had mentioned it as a 5-star read. I don't know how Kayla and my reading have aligned in terms of romance, but I'm willing to give this one give this one a try. So we are following Charisse, who has a younger sister who's about to get married. She hopes that this is going to appease her mother for a while and stop her from harassing her from finding a guy and getting married and having kids. Unfortunately, Charisse just recently had a public blowout with her previous ex-boyfriend after she found him cheating, and she kind of swore off men and dating for a while, choosing to focus on her her pastry chef business. And then she ends up running into Kieran King, who Charisse believes is the most annoying man ever. But it turns out they're in the same place because his best friend's the one that is marrying her younger sister. And it's one of those like, didn't really like turn to love, I would assume, because I think they both have misgivings about each other in terms of like not quite knowing who the other is. Kieran believes that Charisse is stuck up and spoiled, and Charisse believes that Kieran is annoying. So we'll see how this works. I know I tried listening to it a couple times, but like just wasn't feeling it. So I'm hoping that this being February, it will help a little bit. So there are some houseplants in this kitchen that we're seeing. It's a gorgeous cover. I really like it. It's giving me like summer vibes. And this was published in 2021, so it works for the backlist. Next is Excadrill, which is a steel Pokemon, so that's to read a nonfiction. Have I put a nonfiction on here yet? I don't think so. Yes, I have. It was the crypt, whatever. Ooh, I actually have another one. Let me go grab it. Okay, so for Excadrill, I'm going to go ahead and pick No, We Are Here, Voices of Native California Resistance, edited with an introduction by Terria Smith. So this is a collection of essays written by more than 15 California Indian authors. Let's see, collecting over 24 essays written by more than 20 okay, the Goodreads says something different. California Indian authors. No, We Are Here surveys many of the ways California's indigenous communities are resisting the legacies of genocide, focusing on the particular histories, challenges, and dynamics of life in Native California, which are often very different from elsewhere in the United States. The contributors include activists, academics, students, memorists, and tribal leaders. They examine histories of resistance to colonialism in California, the reclaiming of cultures and languages, the connection of place and nature, and to wellness in tribal communities, efforts to overhaul the racist presentation of California Indians in classrooms and popular culture, and the meanings of solidarity in Native California. Featuring an introduction by Terria Smith, editor of News from Native California magazine, No, We Are Here is an indispensable resource for California Indian readers, educators of all levels in California, and students in Native Studies courses nationally. So I actually recently saw that. So it's a library book from the library that I work at. Like, aside from our acquisitions librarian, we're one of the first people to see the incoming books, and I saw this as a new book and immediately just grabbed it. So I think this one will be really interesting. I absolutely love this cover, and it looks like it would be a relatively quick and easy enough read. I think if I break it up into the essays, I could probably read this like one story a day or every other day or something and be able to get it done. It's one thing that I'm slightly worried about when it comes to these types of books, is that and it's interesting that they highlight that it's for California readers, educators of all levels. So I'm hoping that means it's accessible, because I've tried to read other works by Native authors that particularly focus on an academic setting of feminists and decolonizing academics, and it is very hard to read. It's very much that academic writing of the pompous academic writing in which people feel like they have to write in order to get anybody in the academic world to listen. Hopefully it will be relatively easier. Next. Ooh, and the Charmeleon. So it's a fire Pokemon, and that's to read a book that everybody's talking about or everybody has talked about. Okay, so for Charmeleon, I think I'm going to go ahead and choose a Book of the Month book, because I've heard people talk about this quite often, particularly towards the end of 2023. It was either in people's like worst books or in people's best books. I think that it was only in a couple of best books, so I'm interested to see where I land on it, but that is Lone Women by Victor Laval. This one, we are following a young woman who lives in California with her family. Something ends up happening, and she has to leave everything behind. So she starts heading to Montana. This is like a historic Western of sorts, because the reason why she's going to Montana is that she's heard that as a lone woman, she can homestead a piece of land in Montana by herself without needing a husband or a father or anything like that. So that's where she's headed. Again, in that same video from Kayla about reading booktuber favorites, I think she only rated this a 3, but again, I don't think I fit with Kayla's likes and dislikes in terms of books. So again, I'm interested to see where I land on this, but it was one that I have been interested in. I have not read a Victor Laval before. I tried reading The Ballad of Black Tom at one point, but just wasn't feeling it at the time. I do still hope to read it at some point, but I'm interested to see where this takes me. So that's what I'm choosing for Charmeleon. Is Baratic. This is a water Pokemon, and I recently changed that, and that is now a book set in a different country, continent, or planet. For Baratic, I'm going to go ahead and pick a 24 of 2024 book, and that is The Sleeping World by Gabrielle Lucille Fuentes. So this is, we're in Spain. 1977 military rule is over. Bootleg punk music oozes out of the illegal basement bars. Uprisings spread across towns. Fascists fight anarchists for political control, and students perform protest art in city centers, rioting against the old government, against the undecided new order, against the universities, against themselves. Amid the chaos in Moscow, an intelligent, disillusioned university student whose younger brother is among the disappeared, taken by the police 2 years ago, and now presumed dead, spurred by the turmoil around them, Moscow and her... Amid the chaos is Moscow. Okay, Moscow is the name of the person we're following, not the name of a city. Moscow and her friends commit an act that takes their rebellion too far and sends them spiraling out of their provincial hometown. But the further they go, the more Moscow believes her brother is alive, and the more she is willing to risk to find him. So I believe in my 24 of 2024, I said I saw this in a bookstore. Apparently I had bought it because I found it on one of my bookshelves, not in here. It's the one in my room. So that was embarrassing. I'm glad I didn't buy it again or like try to get it from the library. So yeah, this one should definitely be interesting. And just see where it goes. It's very not matchy, but it's okay. This is Tinamo, which is a lightning Pokemon, so it's a quick read, whatever that means to me. And for that, I think I'm going to go ahead and do High Spirits by Camille Gamera Tavares. This is a collection of stories. High Spirit is a collection of 11 interconnected short stories from the Dominican diaspora by debut author Camila Gamera Tavares. It is a book centered on one extended family, the Ballans, across multiple generations. It is set in the fictional small town of Hidalgo and Santo Domingo and Patterson and San Juan and Washington Heights too. It is told in the style both utterly real and distinctly magical, and the stories explore machismo, mental health, family, and identity, but most importantly, High Spirits represents the book from Camille Gamera Tavares, who takes her place as one of the most extraordinary new voices to emerge in years. It was one from Levine Corrido, and I really enjoyed the cover and had gotten it a couple years ago, and so now I'm really hoping to read it. This also works for the buzzword for the month of February, which is happy words, which I believe High Spirits is, being in high spirits is positive, so I think I'm going to go ahead and choose to go with that. And this is one I've been meaning to read for a while. I mean, the font, it looks huge, so I think it'll be a relatively quick read. 11 stories, so I think that'll work just fine for. So yeah. Okay, I need to get some audiobooks in here. Okay, this is Grievard, which is a psychic Pokemon, and that is to read a thriller. So I think I'm gonna go with Plain Bad Heroines for Grievard. I do have a physical copy, but I'm actually looking at the audiobook on Libro because it's currently on sale for the next 6 days at $3.49. Let's grab the physical book. So it is a bit of a chunker, so I don't know if I really would have gotten to it physically. We're at Brooke Hunt's School for Girls, infamous site of a series of tragic deaths over 100 years ago, soon to be subject to controversial horror movie about the rumored Brooke Hunt's curse. In early 1900s, Brooke Hunt students Flo and Clara fell madly in love, brought together by their obsession for scandalous memoir. A few months later, they were found dead in the woods after a horrific wasp attack, the book lying next to their entwined bodies. 3 more grisly deaths followed before the school was forced to close. Now the school's doors are open once more, but as the crew of glamorous young actresses assemble to start filming, the past and present begin to blur, and soon it's impossible to tell where the curse ends and Hollywood begins. Definitely like this cover over the US cover, so I'm hoping I enjoy it. But yeah, I think I'm going to read this audibly, but if I do have trouble, I'll follow along physically as well. So next we have Numel, which is a fire Pokemon. So it's to read another book that everyone is talking about. So I don't know if everyone's been talking about this, but it's one. Okay, that's another like physical book though. Okay, I have one on its way to me from Interlibrary Loan, but it's Chain Gang All Stars by Nana Kwam Alje Brenya. I apologize. I probably butchered that. I heard about it through Kayla. Yeah, I'm just, you know what, just like, she's the sponsor of this video. I'm joking. But we were following Loretta Thurwar and Hamara Hurricane Stacker are the stars of a Chain Gang All-Stars, the cornerstone of CAPE, a criminal action penal entertainment, a highly popular, highly controversial profit-raising program in America's increasingly dominant private prison industry. It's the return of the gladiators, and prisoners are competing for the ultimate prize, their freedom. So that's all I know about it, and that's all I really want to know. It's very much just listening to that. Wasn't there like a race movie that was based on the same Death Race? I think that was based on the same thing. Very interested in it. I wasn't originally interested because I don't like the cover so much, but the premise of it has me intrigued. So that should be coming via Interlibrary Loan here shortly. I think it's supposed to be ready for pickup on Monday, so, which I'm working, so yeah. But also given the weather, it might be off by a couple days, but I mean, I'll still get it by the beginning of February, so I'm not too worried about it. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and pick for that. The final Pokemon card is Surskit, which is a grass Pokemon. So to read another book with botanical elements on the cover. I think I only have, oh, I know which one I want to do. I'm going to do Of Women and Salt by Gabriela Garcia. This is another book that is on my 24 of 2024. I'm finding that like having one physical and one audio really helps with making sure I actually get it done in the month. So this audiobook contains a bonus conversation between the author and Roxanne Gay. A sweeping masterful debut about a daughter's fateful choice, a mother motivated by her own past and a family legacy that begins in Cuba before either of them were born. In present-day Miami, Jeanette is battling addiction. Daughter of Carmen, a Cuban immigrant, she is determined to learn more about her family history from her reticent mother and makes the snap decision to take in the daughter of a neighbor detained by ICE. Carmen, still wrestling with the trauma of displacement, must process her difficult relationship with her own mother while trying to raise a wayward Jeanette. Steadfast in her quest for understanding, Jeanette travels to Cuba to see her grandmother and reckon with secrets from the past destined to erupt. So that's all I want to know about that. Yeah, and it has a big old poppy on the cover, so that works perfectly for Surskit, and that is my February, all my February books, I think. Okay, so let's quickly go over them. The United States of Cryptids. For the green energy card, I have 2 of the full Holo EX Charizard cards that I am hoping to get, Ghost Hands and the Foxwife. Bound Sweet, which is going to be Sweet Hand, which is an audiobook. No, We Are Here for Extra Drill for a nonfiction. Charmeleon for a book everyone is talking about or was talking about. Bear Tick, which is a book to take place in a different continent, country, or planet, and that is Sleeping World, which is also on my 24 of 2024. It takes place in Spain. Spirits works for my lightning Pokemon, which is to read a quick read. It also works for the Buzz Wordathon for happy words. Graveyard is for plain bad heroines to read a thriller. Numel is Chainbane All Stars, and Surskit is, I already forgot the name of it, Of Women and Salt. All right, which is another 24 of 2024. So we have my nonfictions, and we have Indigenous authors. We have Book of the Month. Okay, that is my February TBR. This feels huge, and yeah, this looks and feels huge, but I have to remember that this one is going to be an audiobook. And then I think with one of the anticipated reads, I think the Catherine Arden one will be a audiobook as well. It just feels like it should be. And also because I don't know which cover to get, but The Foxwife will be a physical book that I will pre-order. My February TBR. If you've read any of these, or if you're anticipating any February releases, please let me know down in the comments down below. Otherwise, let me know what your thoughts were. Please no spoilers. And let's go ahead and put, do we have a bee emoji or a wasp? There is a bee emoji, so let's go ahead and put a bee emoji, because there is no wasp for Plain Bad Heroines. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm still a little nervous that I'll, like, halfway through this week I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to have to redo this, but I think right now I'm really excited. So thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you are in your mental mindset to I hope you are in the mental mindset to enjoy your reading. I will see you in another video very soon. Cheers.